What's going on, everybody? Time for a recap. Today was a little bit of an interesting day. I got to trade the pre-market, and then about an hour, 45 minutes before, I had some construction guys doing a bunch of landscaping and tearing my yard apart up here, and they scooped my fiber cable, and I lost all internet, and I just got it back at about 2 p.m. Today. I had to get the emergency guys out here to fix it, but I am lucky that all of our trades took place in the pre-market. We're blessed. So I do want to talk about today anyway, even though we had a fantastic morning. We had a couple really big guaranteed trades. We still did 6,365.82 in the big account and like 3,300 on the Top Step Pro funded account. So let's get into it. So I want to do some predictions here, as I like to post up here. Said 18,700 on NQ back test lower high. That's what we're talking about right here. So NQ, I was looking for something to come back down, push lower high, drop, give it about 50, 60 points up to 18,700. That was my short for pre-market, right? And we called that way before it happened. Here's me updating on ES as well. ES targets were 5,374 and 5,373. Ignore this one. That was actually a line of a different sport I was working on. This was the second group right here. So 5,373.50 was the lowest I seen it. We called that way up here at 88 pretty much. So let's see how it did, right? So we'll go back into the last, and of course, just like I said, we hit the target, right? So, and I'm walking it back up too. So I threw out one more long trade for you guys, and I said we're walking it back up from here. So you can see my long entry right here on ES. This is from 5,378. 5 ES contracts. We're up about 875 right here. Going forward, limit order 5,385, and then another sell at 5,393. So I was going for over 16, 15 points here on ES, and we recorded everything live trading like we do in the live. So this is me narrating through these trades. Take a quick peek. But the 200 SMA back test here, and then full recovery as well is where we're kind of going for here for these big boys up here. So we do have some higher targets back up to high, actually. We have a lot of 5-minute gaps in the pre-market. So the pre-market here on the SPY, as you can see here, these let me zoom in here a little bit. So 5-minute little gaps here in the pre-market, notably. So right here, 534.60s, right here, 535.40s, and there's another one way up here, just under 536. And again, you can see here where it sliced through that 100 EMA in the green, came all the way down to that 200 SMA, kind of looped it up a little bit here, and then kind of pushing back, right? So there are a lot of reputable resistance magnets here that we should be able to grind all the way back up on. So I got 5 contracts up. We're up 875, about 1,000 on the day, 1,900 total right now. So we are going for that 5,384.50 first cover at 3, and then the rest is going to be at the 2. So we should be able to get back up here relatively simple, just on the grind right here prior to data. So we do have data at about... You guys get the point, right? So we call that pre-market action off of a lot of different indicators here. Today, I'll give you a little hint, and that was on the pre-market gaps, like I said on Thinkorswim, right? So let's take a quick peek at the SPY pre-market. And man, it turned into a force up day. I'm really sad I missed this day because we were super long biased here, and I'll show you why. So we came into these gaps, right? So these are what I charted off here in that video. So you come here, you go on that 5-minute chart, and we're just coming off this loop right here, right? We're talking about the 200 SMA right here on the peach dash line. We have a gap right here, and a gap way up here. So we had 3 gaps, okay? 5-minute chart pre-market. And we had a really good recovery off yesterday's close. A lot of different fib levels here too. You can see the MAC cross here at about 6:15 a.m. coming off that cool RSI, and looking for the head up on PPI. And we're looking for that data to push back up. And you notice it closed all gaps on the way up in price action. So if I was looking for all of these gaps prior to fill, notice when it shot up, we didn't leave any gaps open, right? So even when it did create a gap, it filled it right away on that data candle. And it happened again here too as well, but that was a quick fill. But regardless, that is a very good sign of not leaving any gaps on that upside, which is going to be a progression push throughout the day, right? So how would I have played today, right? So we did really good in pre-market, unfortunately, before my internet went down. And I need to show you guys how I would have set up today. So let's get into it. So on the SPY chart right here, we have the algo, right? 5-minute high low. So this is the data candle PPI. So I would grab this guy right here. Boom, boom. And then I would use this golden pocket as support. Now we shied it. Now we're talking a lot about shying stuff on this channel, which means price action kind of scoots away. It never tags it, right? Price action comes in like this, gets very close to a level, shies it away, takes off, right? Doesn't actually hit anything. That'd be very similar to what we talked about in our last video, where let's say price action would have came all the way down very near to this green 100 EMA. It would not have tagged it. It shy away from it and it would run away. These are very minute details, little tiny minute details here that are saying, hey, we are too afraid to even backtest rolling support like a moving average. We need to run away from this support and just freaking go, baby. So that is a big hint there that you guys really need to pay attention to when stuff runs away, right? So it shies away from a price level, whether that be a fib or a moving average or even a VWAP. Those are extremely important to note, okay? So not only now we have the box of the fib, we pointed to the upside, obviously. You notice that we have a wide open bottom here. There's no candles in the bottom of the fib range. So we'll come back down here eventually for this PPI data candle. It's not going to be today, obviously, or probably anytime soon. But how would we have played this one, right, on the SPY? Well, one note is we are way above that 100 EMA, okay? That's that big green line right here. And we were talking about getting back over that 100 EMA, and that would cause a big squeeze to chase back down the 50 SMA. So we have these coded inside our intraday chart. So if you guys look right here, this big green dash, or not dash line, hard line here, is your 100 EMA, but this is on the daily chart. It just shows it on the 5-minute chart because we have the code pressed into the intraday chart. And your dashed red line way up here, that's the 50 SMA. So any support hold above that 100 EMA on the daily, that's going to give us a really good opportunity to start that squeeze back because we're not utilizing a major moving average resistance anymore. We have that as support. So we had a little bit of a burn chop day yesterday, but then we opened up extremely strong over that, and we're going to what? Magnet and target that 50 SMA daily, which we should be cooking up to. Now let's look at that data fib that we did. And how would we have played that along with the big moving averages, right? So price action came down. Or made it. It held the golden pocket on the fib, broke out, 1618 tag, right? Right here. That's usually our first target, right, on fibs. After the 1618, it comes back down and generally gets to the 100 fib and then has a chance to go 2618, right? Very clean here. And according to me, I don't think there's any cleaner of a trade. We didn't break down for a live tag of the golden pocket, which means when we start to turn back around, this PPI candle, once the fibs run the whole thing up, this has to come back down and fill for these Fibonacci points, okay? And notice right here, we shied, like we were talking about here earlier this morning, shied, did not tag golden pocket, right? Very important there. We are running away from a very big support of the golden pocket at 536 here of a data candle. Usually that does not happen. So that's a very good, again, just a little peek into what the market is telling you subliminally. Now, if we would have ran this back up here and noticed, let's look at some other indicators here. What do we know about shying? It comes down to a level doesn't tag. What do you know about 50% retrace? Everything is 50s in the market. So how we use RSI on the bottom here is the 50 point, right? So 50 RSI, halfway point. Look at this channel. Hot RSI comes back down. Did it hit the halfway point? Did it hit 50? No, it's another shy. Give you another example right here where RSI wouldn't even come back down to the 50 for support and it ripped back up. And look how detrimentally strong this thing is. Like, look at the MACD just pinned up here. Doesn't matter what the oscillation is, just pinned. And it doesn't matter if it goes back down on an algo scam day like today. Today was a run-up algo scam day. We're very long biased over that 100 EMA, so there is no surprise here. Now let's look at another indicator off the Qs because we don't have any major moving averages here set up for our friends here, at the big moving average. Now look at this one here. Same thing. We got a 7:30 a.m. candle, a little bit smaller. We have a gap and go, right? We started to gap up. So let's do the same old. We have a 7 o'clock algo. This was made all on its own. This is a new 7 a.m. candle. And then the data candles here. This one is a lot larger and it hits the 200 VWAP 100. So I'm going to actually use this candle instead of the daily candle. I'm going to use the same scenario here. We're going to do a high low the Fibonacci range. And then we're going to look where she could go, right? Order to the extensions. Now we have that fib set. Here's our box. Pushes up 1618. Opens. Now here, look at this open. It's a very interesting open. Look at this hard green line. What's that? That's the 100 EMA again, right? Daily. But in Qs, this is one of the biggest part of the scam up here on Q. Qs had used that 100 EMA today as support. That is also another big warning sign going, hey, we're above the 100 EMA now. SPY was able to squeeze way above the 100 EMA. What do you think Qs is going to do? It's going to follow suit, right? It's lagging a little bit behind. And it's fell farther, so it's taken a little bit longer to get back to the 100 EMAs. And what I mean by that is, if you look at SPY, it did not make it down to its 200s like our Qs did, right? The 200 moving averages, we got the EMA and the SMA, both 200 on the bottom here. And then once it got back up to a gap and go, this is another really big signal for you guys right here. Pay attention. Gapped up over the 100 EMA. That means people were so overzealous, they pushed it into a gap, opened at that 100 EMA, and had an opportunity to rip, right? It's over the 100 EMA. So that's another big one. Let's look at the 5-minute chart real quick again. Oop. And we had zero intraday stuff really to help us out besides this pre-market fib and then data fib. So you notice here it opened up above that 161, gave no pullbacks, right to the 2618 and right to, you guessed it, 423.60. The construction guys are working, excuse me, 1 sec. I don't know if you guys could probably hear that, but construction guys are going nuts here. But it did come up to that 423.60. And that is where the fibs ended for the day. So you can see 423.60 is at 462.54 from this algorithm box. 1618, 2618, 423.60, end of the day. Now that is a constant algo pressure here. The only thing that literally back tested support was the VWAP. Literally VWAP one time, this purple dashed line. That's it. That's the only confirmation of support you had. And look at the RSI, just cooked. MAC just cooked. These are algorithm force-up days. There's not a whole lot you can do about it, but we can look at major moving averages and little hints in the moving averages. Sorry, guys, in the moving averages that we can see here. So that is it for the video. Now, if you find a little bit of value here in this, you want to trade live with us, you want to see me call this stuff out live every single morning, what we do and trade it live, links are in the description. We got top step codes and Apex codes, and we will see you in chat if you decide to join. If not, we'll see you on the next record. Take care.